Now, for my pocket number 7, I have travelled all the way around the world from Kent, where I live, in England, to Vancouver, in Canada. And here I am at a wonderful school. And to help me pick my pocket number 7, I have a lovely volunteer. Your name is?
Lisa.
Lisa. Lovely to meet you, Lisa. If you could pick my pocket number 7, thank you. And if you could show everybody what you have.
And it looks like a terracotta warrior.
Oh, it is indeed, built by a very famous Chinese emperor called Qin Shi Huang, who wanted to live forever. That's why he built himself an army of 7,000 lifelike warriors to protect him in the afterlife. And I've discovered, as I've gone through the history of absolutely everything, that this desire to live forever keeps on coming back in ancient history all the way through to the present day. For example, Lisa, do you want to live forever?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
That's fantastic. Well, maybe scientists one day will come up with a solution to aging. Can you imagine that? Living forever! So, for my pocket number 9, that takes us to an ancient civilization where something very ordinary in the world today actually transformed the history of the world. And to help us see what it is, I'm joined by a volunteer. How do you do? Your name is?
I'm Jessica.
Jessica, very nice to meet you, Jessica. What do you do?
I'm a teacher here.
Oh, fantastic. That's great to see. Jessica, if you could pick my pocket number 9, let's see what it is.
Oh.
We have, what is that?
Olives.
A jar of olives. Now, which ancient civilization, Jessica, do you think first grew olives? Any idea?
Greece.
Yes, that's very good. Yeah, ancient is very good. This is unrehearsed, right? Greece, very good. Now, if you were an ancient farmer in Greece, everybody would want your olives because they could squeeze the oil out and they could use the oil for cooking, for heating, for lighting lamps, even as a type of soap. So you become very wealthy. Now, Jessica could sell her olive oil for food so she could never go hungry. The other thing she could do is to sell your olive oil, not just for food, but for something else that means Jessica never has to work in the fields, and she never has to make her bed in the morning, and she never has to do the washing up, because Jessica has swapped her olives for...
Olive oil?
No! Jessica, you swapped your olives for...
I don't know.
Okay, we'll do it again. So Jessica, it's Jessie. So Jessie could swap her olives for...
Slaves.
For slaves, exactly. And it's a terrible thing, Jess, that actually much of history is very unfair. Because you could have lots of spare time because you had so much slaves. So then you could go to the theatre or go to the Olympic Games, or you could get involved in politics and vote for your rulers, which is where democracy comes from. But unfortunately, other people, particularly women and slaves, did not enjoy the same freedoms. It's just as well I'm here in the Americas because pocket number 9 takes us to the first ancient Americans. And they invented something that has had profound consequences on the whole history of the world. And to help us see what's in pocket number 9, I have a new volunteer. How do you do? Your name is?
Skylar.
Oh, nice to meet you, Skylar. What do you do?
I'm a 3rd grade teacher.
Fantastic, Skylar. If you'd be kind enough just to pick my pocket number 9, see what's inside.
Oh.
What have you got there, Skylar?
A tennis ball.
Yes. Now, if I drop the tennis ball on the floor, it bounces up again.
Sure.
What is it made of that makes it bounce?
Rubber?
Very good. And these ancient people were called the rubber people, the Olmecs, and they worked out how to make rubber. Instead of having an argument and lots of people dying on the battlefield, they would have a game of sport. And the gods could decide who the winners and the losers were. And so they had these epic contests. And all the way to the present day, sport has been used as a way of conflict resolution, where people who have arguments or want to compete against each other can do so in peace around a great sports stadium.